So we finished with fist compression of the upper shoulder, right? So we took the slack out and we got even longer there. Now we're going to go down the erectors with our elbows to the sacrum and then work the QL. Okay. So I'm going to stick with this side, just I think it'll be easier to see. Okay, so from here, then what I'm going to do, and you can see in the image, I'm actually going to use, it doesn't have to be the point, but because we're riding between the spine and the scapula here, we're going to either use the point or a broader piece, but we want the arm parallel to the spine for now. I actually find that using a kind elbow point is very satisfying. And a lot of people use, there's a lot of layers, there's 6 layers to the back muscles here, right? So even in an oil massage, I'll do this. I have gliding strokes that I do, and then I almost always do compressions because even the slowest perfect gliding stroke doesn't have this same effect. Sorry, is that too much? Okay, let me know, please. So almost like 1 point for each vertebrae. And this other hand, you can see it's there, it's just kind of for balance, but I'm not leaning heavily over there. I want to be leaning heavily on her, right? Or appropriately. As soon as I can clear her scapula, which will be my next spot, then I'm going to turn like this.
And you're just pushing down?
Straight down. Yeah. In the line with my humerus there. And of course I can make it a little more pointy or a little less, right? But my elbow point, the olecranon process is, I can feel her spinous process. I'm right there. And then you can use that, like if your elbow's not that sensitive yet, use your free hand to palpate, use your eyes a bit, and then look out just so you have nice, imagine you're having your video taken like I am. I have some nice posture now and again, right?
Very nice.
Getting a leg workout with this little table. But this is about the pace. I'm really taking my time. I'm giving the tissue time to actually respond. So this is why I use the word conversation, in that I'm not just inputting into the system, but there's a conversation. I'm inputting and I'm listening for, feeling for the response, which is the tissue responding. Otherwise, I'm just going through the motions without any awareness of what's happening. I want to feel her tissue responding. It won't always. But even with, people even ask that, so what did you feel? I tell them, but I always say I felt tension here or there, but it felt like it responded, which is, I wouldn't say that if it wasn't true, but when I see that, that's what I mean, is that I felt like the body's adjusting, it's adapting to what I'm giving it, which is critical. I'm not doing it just for the fun of it. So here I just landed on the sacrum, and then you can see I go back to a pointier elbow. Again, you could kind of go like that, but the sacrum is sloping upward like this, so I want to kind of keep my work roughly 90 degrees to that surface, so as it ramps up, I'm changing the angle to meet that. And I'm kind of visualizing, you could look over there at the skeleton, it's facing the wrong way, but there's little holes in the sacrum, right? Can you turn it? Spin it
Feels a
around.
big lumbar, but
Yeah, that's the longest waist ever. Yeah, so those little holes, just picture those, that's where I'm putting my elbow. And I'm going down, but here I could sort of add to that decompression as well by having some of the force go towards her feet. Yeah, very nice.
mostly away from the tissue.
That's where our tail used to be.
Away from the bone.
So there I am, right where the sacrum and the coccyx converge. You have to kind of feel for that. You can This is a trickier palpation, right, with my fingertip like that, but you want to be in the right place, and you definitely don't want to be pressing on the coccyx. Okay, so we just came down. I'm going to go one more and then I'll come back, and then I want to do the quadratus lumborum. So our parameters are the floating 12th rib, which is right there, and the iliac crest, which is right there. So look, compared to that fake skeleton,
It's huge.
right? Jessica's waist, this is a real waist, right? There's a couple fingers in there. And if someone's extra long, maybe there's a finger more, right? So it's not a big span, it's not like that. So in the photo, what I'm doing is I'm actually bridging a couple fingertips like this. Excuse me. And part of why I'm coming in like this is I'm trying to not have to work through the thick, tough erectors. Otherwise, that would be a losing battle. So the erectors are right here, and I'm trying to kind of scooch under them. So the direction my fingertips are pointing, I'm actually pointing them right into the spinous processes. Actually, let's grab that hand, that was helpful. Right, there's no rib here, but I'm like this. I'm pressing right into those transverse processes because QL is attached to them, right? And erectors are sitting on top. So that's where my fingers are pressing. So you want to bypass that tissue and you want to be able to feel for, and of course it doesn't feel just like that because there's muscle between my fingertips, right? And then like my ring fingers are on the 12th rib and the iliac crest respectively here. So then what I want to do is actually aim to the corner there. So now I'm at the corner where the 12th rib head attaches at the spine and the transverse process meets. And maybe you go from there, you scooch out and then down into the body a little so you're deeper, more anterior. And then I'm going to go into that corner. So here I'm where the iliac crest and the transverse process there meet in that corner. And I also might come out and go a little more anterior, deeper in the body, like that. Now, even with her waist being like that, I can use my elbow point. Now that I've done that, I feel like I really know her body, I know the terrain. The reason you wouldn't want to just jump into that unless you're very experienced is that there are tender little spinal bits there that you don't want to break, right? But this is what it would look like. Make a point with your elbow and you can see there's spinous process, there's erector and transverse processes. So I'm sandwiched between the 12th rib and the iliac crest. And you can even kind of point it that way.
That little spot.
Or point it that way. Like that. Super powerful stuff. Okay, so let me just review. I'm going to come from up your toes, pointy elbow, or at least the arm parallel to the spine, so you get past the scapula, then almost perpendicular, good posture, don't use your eyes much. When you get to the sacrum, back to the point. Fingertips for the QL, straight on, angled, angled, maybe elbow, angled, angled. Notice I didn't go angled. Right? That was kind of a dance move though. Right? Let's try it. All right, let's try it.
Okay.